Hi, my name is Dr. Spencer Zimmerman. One of the questions I get frequently asked is, what is the most common cause of low thyroid? Now, if you're like me, you know plenty of people who are suffering from low thyroid and they're being medicated. So the question is, well, why? Why is this such a growing pandemic, and what is the number one cause? And is it really being addressed appropriately? So the number one cause of low thyroid, otherwise known as hypothyroidism, is an autoimmune condition to the thyroid known as Hashimoto's. So I'm going to take a step back and kind of explain each one of those. So what is autoimmunity? Autoimmunity is whenever our body's immune system, so its defense system, gets confused with what's good and bad. And this creates an issue where it actually says, hey, thyroid, which is in here in your neck, you are bad, and it starts attacking it. Now, it can do this for a little bit before you end up needing thyroid medications and other treatment for this. But it can only last so long till there's so much damage your thyroid cannot do the job anymore. Now, Hashimoto's is the term for it based upon where it was identified. And it's believed to have account in 50 to 90% of all autoimmune cases. So you may be thinking, well, do I have Hashimoto's? Well, that's actually a very easy thing to figure out. Unfortunately, traditionally in school, I wasn't taught to run that lab, even though from my previous training, I knew it was important, and I was definitely running that marker because you should know if you have an autoimmune disease. Because if you do, then there's an increased likelihood you could have more than one autoimmune disease. Outside of that, if your mom or your sister has hypothyroidism, there's a good chance you may have it as well, specifically if you're a female, because it follows very strongly on the female side of the family. And if you can spot an autoimmune process, so your body attacking your thyroid while your thyroid labs and your thyroid is still doing its job right, this can save you years of misery and also prevent the need for thyroid medication down the road. So what are the labs you can look at to identify if you do have Hashimoto's? If you have a thyroid issue, you've probably had what's called TSH, T3, and maybe even T4 performed by your provider. If you're really lucky though, they've actually ran the right marker for you. That is called TPO, thyroid peroxidase, and thyroglobulin antibodies. Positive in either one of these shows there's an autoimmune process going on. It does not mean you meet criteria for the autoimmune disease yet. But if you have those markers and your thyroid labs are low and it shows an elevated TSH with a decreased T3, then you absolutely do meet criteria for Hashimoto's, and that should be addressed not just simply by replacing it with a medication, but also going after the underlying issues within the immune system.